thousands of dollars go down the drain.
This is not normal.
Did you have an inspection of the house before you purchase it?
I did, and they did not inspect the problem.
That would be your problem.
This is Judge Judy. 24-year-old Joshua Vasily is suing Nathaniel Combs for the fraudulent sale of a home.
Judge, this is case number 143 on the calendar in the matter of Vasily versus Combs. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. You may be seated.
Thank you, Bert. Mr. Vasily, you and your family purchased a home from the defendant.
That's correct.
And you, at this point, want to stay in the home, but claim that he sold you a home that was defective to the extent that he was required to notify you of the defect. And so at this point, you want him to pay some of, if not all of, the expenses to fix the plumbing in the house. That's what your case is about.
Yes.
Okay, good.
It's somewhere
So I
around...
have a few. I didn't ask you. No, listen to me. I didn't ask you a question.
Absolutely.
Mr. Combs, when did you purchase your home, the home that you sold to him?
October of 2017.
And who lived in the home?
My wife and 2 kids.
How old are the children?
Now they...
The plaintiff, the house.
I believe we closed on June 30th of 2020.
And when did you put the house up for sale?
I don't remember the exact date. It was approximately 2 months prior to the date it sold.
Okay. Just 1 second. What's the address of the house, sir?
Tanglewood.
And what city?
Tehachapi, California.
What did you pay for the house, Mr. Vasily?
I believe we paid $289.
Not believe.
Purchase price to be $290,000.
$280,000 what we ended up paying.
$280,000 is the final price that we ended up paying.
$280,000.
Yes, that's correct.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, it sold on 6/29/220, according to Trustee Zillow.
$220,000, Your Honor, just to make sure.
Don't. What? 220.
Did you? I'm sorry, I did not hear. Was it 220,000 that Zillow reports?
No.
Okay.
I said
I apologize.
It closed on June 29th.
Got it. Understood.
And it was listed in May of 2020 for $295,000. So you bought it for $280,000. You bought it for $15,000 less than the ask.
Yes,
Is that
thankfully.
correct, sir?
Yes, that's correct.
I don't want any editorial. $1,000 less than the ask.
Yes.
So that was a negotiated price.
Yes. There's a reason why it was $15,000 less. And it pertains to the case. Can I explain, or is this not a good time?
This would not be a good time.
Understood.
Who did you buy the house from?
I believe it was
Mr.
Nathaniel.
Combs?
Oh.
No, who did you buy the house from, Mr. Combs?
I don't know the family that owned it prior to us, ma'am.
Well, the reason I'm asking is that it was sold prior to you purchasing it in November of 2017, because you were the immediate owner prior to this sale. You purchased the house for $242,000.
Yes, ma'am.
And the person that you bought it from only had the house for a few months, maybe 5 months. So they must have bought the house. No, actually, they listed it in February of 2016. Then they removed the listing. They finally sold it in April of 2016 because they upped the price and made a couple of bucks on it because they paid $217,000 and you bought it for $242,000. Did you move within the community?
No, we moved from out of town into Tehachapi.
No. When you sold the house to Mr. Vasily, did you move within the same community?
No, we moved approximately 100 miles.
Now, if you moved 100 miles away, your 8-year-old was in school.
The sale was during the summer. School was out.
The sale was done June 29th. The one who's 8, is that a boy?
My daughter. My daughter's 8. My son is 4.
So your daughter went to school. Now, did your daughter go to school at Tanglewood Drive?
Yes, she did.
That year?
Yes.
Until when?
I believe the school year ended early due to COVID. I do not remember the exact date.
Give me the month.
It was most likely May.
No, not most likely. I want you to think. You moved, which is an event, in June.
Yes, ma'am.
We're not talking so far away. We're talking about this year, 2020. You look like a relatively young man, so that your memory is probably much better than mine. And you only had one school-age child.
Yes.
One may have gone to preschool, but you only have one school-age child. What I want to know is, when that school-age child stopped going to school from 13.
It would have been May.
And that would be the same month that you put the house on the market for sale.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you say you moved 100 miles away. Was that for business, pleasure?
Family,
Was that
to be
safe?
closer to family.
And did you purchase another residence or rent?
I purchased.
And what was the close date on this house?
It was after. I believe July 7th was the date we closed for our current home.
But you had seen that house before.
Yes.
On what date between June 29th of 2020 and July, when you moved into that house, where did you live?
My in-laws' house.
Were you at your in-laws' house prior to June 29th?
My family was. I was there cleaning up the house, getting ready to leave. My final day, I got a text message of my final day at the house with the date.
What was your final date at the house? Your final date. Then I'm going to find out when your family's final date was.
So that would have been June 28th was my final day in the house.
Okay. And when was your family, your wife and 2 children, when was their final day in the house?
That would be Friday, June 26th.
Did your wife and 2 children drive to your in-laws?
Yes, ma'am.
So the family has 2 cars.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that right?
Yes.
So it is your testimony, and could be easily verified by both your in-laws and your wife, that your wife and 2 children lived in the house continuously from the time you purchased the house in 2017 until June 26th. The daughter attended school there until the end of the school year in May of 2020.
Yes, ma'am.
All I can verify on the phone, so you wouldn't want to be embarrassed, right?
No, ma'am.
Your family moved in and you started to have plumbing problems right away.
Right away. That's correct, Your Honor. Can I explain the moving in process? It was a bit different. We had signed paperwork believing that the Combs were going to be living at the house 3 days after us getting the keys. After owning the house, the Combs were going to be living at the house for 3 days. We ended up making
They
plans.
asked for 3. Listen to me carefully.
Absolutely.
They asked for 3 days after the closing to get out.
That's correct. Where they were going to pay rent.
So after either 29th or just a second. They asked for 3 days.
Yes.
Through their lawyer. I assume they had a lawyer?
Through their real estate agent. Yes. Those were the terms that we understood.
Did they do that in writing or verbally by their agent?
It was in writing once during the start of the process, and then verbally going forward. We continued to keep talking about it until we got the keys.
I only want to see the written.
Understood.
Mr. Vasily, when you say you talked, did you talk to the defendant or did you talk to the real estate agent?
My real estate agent.
You can't tell me what that real estate agent said. That is a writing, if you have a writing from the defendant or anyone acting on the defendant's behalf. That would be a real estate agent.
Ma'am?
What?
I do have
Just a second. I'm asking you, do you have that?
I believe that I do.
Something in writing?
Yes.
Well, then let's take a look at it.
We have our mediation, which has it, but let me see.
What mediation? Just a second.
Absolutely. We ended up going through mediation before going through the court process.
What mediation?
Mediation through a company called RERM. That's what I know it as. It was a real estate. They were trying to get us so we didn't have to go to court, essentially, where we exchanged messages between one another. And in that I outlined
Just 1 second. Did that mediation have a negative result?
Yes, it did. The Combs did not reply during...
Don't just answer my question.
Okay.
Is that the reason why you filed this case?
Yes.
Because the mediation did not have... Okay.
We did not get
So now
help.
all I want to see is that help is not the question. So when you buy a house, you usually have a house inspected, and you're bound by that inspection, and anything that you find later, unless there is intentional... listen to me.
Yes,
I
Your Honor.
don't care what you believe.
Okay.
I read your complaint.
Sure.
And your complaint alleges, just pay attention before you respond. Your case alleges that no person or family could have lived in that house in the condition that it was. That's what you allege in here. There is no way. Well, You see, I've just asked a series of questions of the defendant, and the series of questions were, and they can be probably verified by a quick call to his in-laws who have absolutely no knowledge of what we're talking about today, when his wife came, when their daughter came with their 2 children. And if his wife and 2 children arrived at her family's house on June 26th, from their house, and your allegation is no person could have lived in the house because of the condition of the plumbing, that would not be true. Do you understand that?
I understand that.
I'm just asking you if you understand it.
I understand.
Fine.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If you had an incomplete inspection report, you had the right to request a more complete inspection report. Do you understand?
No, I don't, because I had to pay more for that.
Well, then that's your problem.
Joshua Vasily claims Nathaniel Combs sold him a house without disclosing its plumbing problems.
Now, sometimes, you know, you have certain problems in the house, little problems in the house, and what you're hoping for is that it passes an inspection unless they purposefully misrepresented it to you in a written document, and then you can produce witnesses. So
I believe that did happen.
If it did happen, I'm more than prepared to look at it, sir. But certainly the part of your statement is that no one could have lived there
under
is
normal
inaccurate.
circumstances. No,
I don't
under
care
normal circumstances.
I don't care. No.
Okay.
When you have a family of 4 living in an 1,800-square-foot house that uses the plumbing, and what you're saying is that the plumbing backed up, what I'm telling you is...
The cause of the plumbing... Your Honor, I'm so sorry. Your Honor, the cause of the issue was running a washer. Running a washer 3 days after owning the house created a load on the system, and I have a witness, which was my plumber, who is a professional, who will tell you what the cause of the issue was. After the issue began,
Listen, I'm prepared to listen to your witness. Out of the house before you purchase it?
I did, and they did not inspect the problem.
Of course. Just a second.
Yes.
That would be your problem.
Okay.
That would be your problem.
But it said here, it's what the cause of the issue is beyond the. They didn't test the washer, which caused the issue. The washer and dryer was not tested beyond the scope of the inspection as per the standards and practice set forth by the California Real Estate Inspection Association. I think that under any circumstance, that if somebody was living at this property and did not want to deceive someone, they would say that they had issues with the plumbing, the issues that we had immediately when buying the house. We ran a washer which put 230 gallons worth of water in our system, blew it back, and there was no way to remove that water until I think that if we waited and it finally left the system, or a professional removed the issue. What ended up happening was...
No, listen to me.
Absolutely.
Sir, your washer backed up the first time you used it 3 days after you moved in.
Yes, that's correct.
I mean... That's what you're telling me.
Not exactly.
And I'm telling you that's not his...
It is his problem. And my witness can verify that.
I'm more than happy to hear your witness.
Okay.
I heard you. I understand the problem.
I don't think that I did explain that...
Mr. Vasily.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Vasily.
Yes, Your Honor.
What I'm telling you is you had the right to inspect the property.
Which I did.
You got an... This is a statement. It's not a question.
Okay.
You had the right to inspect the property. If you had an incomplete inspection report, you had the right to request a more complete inspection report. Do you understand? If you...
No, I don't, because I had to pay more for that.
Well, then that's your problem.
Well, I don't think so, because I agreed to a house.
You just keep hurting yourself by, volunteering information.
Well, not exactly, no. I agreed to the normal inspection. This is not normal.
Mr. Vasily, because you insist upon speaking, you just hurt your own case.
How so?
If I buy a house, I'm going to answer you, and you can be as wide-eyed as you like.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So it was my fault that I didn't purchase a deeper inspection? It was my fault that I didn't inspect the washer line?
Yes.
Okay. It was, okay.
Yes, 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 and yes.
Real case. Joshua Vasili is accusing Nathaniel Combs of defrauding him on the sale of a house.
Now, when I buy homes, I can have a cursory inspection, people looking in, turning on the faucet, turning on the lights.
How many homes, how many times have you bought in a house?
How many times have I bought a house? Probably 30.
Okay, this is my first time.
Probably, Judge, that's not his fault.
I understand that, but I also understand that I was going to be buying a house that could be lived in, that under normal circumstances you can use.
Mr. Vasili, Mr. Vasili, you just keep talking. You keep saying you understand. You don't understand.
Okay.
This is your first house. I get that.
Okay.
Next time you buy a house, don't answer me. Just listen. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Just listen to what I'm saying to you. Maybe if you listen, you'll learn something. When you buy a house, you have the right to have an inspection of many things. And if you had the right to spend more money, which is what you told me, and get a more in-depth inspection, and you chose not to do that.
I believe that I did not have to. Just a second. I don't care what you believe. The law, what you believe, Mr. Vasili.
Okay. It's irrelevant what you believe. What I'm telling you is the law.
So it was my fault that I didn't purchase a deeper inspection when the inspection already had passed. It was my fault that I didn't inspect the washer line. It was my fault that I didn't inspect where the...
Yes.
Okay. It was... Okay.
Yes, and yes.
Understood.
It's your fault. It's your fault. When you have a car and you choose not to have collision insurance when you could have had collision insurance,
but
and you have an accident,
Your Honor.
Ears, mouth.
Sure, absolutely.
Ears, mouth. Absolutely and understood. Not only absolutely, but absolutely and understood.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay, now, what I'm telling you, sir, is I feel sorry for you that you and your family had a problem when you moved into the house, when it was your first house, and you had to spend more money to have it fixed.
$6,500.
Buying a house, I'm not... You have to spend that extra money when the washing machine backed up. I feel sorry for you, but ears, mouth. You have the right to have an inspection. If you could establish to me that, because one of the things you said was it was a flagrant fraud because there was no family that could have lived in that house
under normal conditions without running the washer.
Okay, your case is dismissed. We're done here. It's impossible to deal with him. You fixed the plumbing. I hope you and your family are happy. We're done. Thank you.
Your Honor, can I understand what I did wrong?
I just tried to tell you, but you refused to listen.
I don't understand.
And if you refuse to listen, let me tell you what. Then we'll provide you with a tape when you go outside so you can listen to what I said as many times as you like. Right now, or we're done. And what part of we're done don't we understand?
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy, after a death in the family, a tug of war.
Your mother signed a document that you should have the car. What your sister did was pull a fast one.
Next Judge Judy.
I think that I need to be heard a little bit more, the problems that we ended up having.
They did do a full inspection, and in the inspection it says the washer drain was acceptable.
Just terrible. It was horrible. A sewage going into the hallway and the master bedroom.
According to the documentation they provided, a toilet backed up.
I have to pay extra for home inspections.
Welcome to home ownership.
Things were sort of tense.
She says her roommates got pushy.
We got into a disagreement and an argument over my boyfriend, the fact that they didn't like him and they didn't want him over anymore.
They were there for multiple days on end. It wasn't like he just came to visit.
Was it fear that forced the issue?
She sent a text message saying that he was no longer welcome at the apartment.
Did he ever do in your apartment anything unlawful?
This is Judge Judy. Arena Robinson and Alyssa Galindo are suing their former roommate, Jasmine Linden, for unpaid rent and damages to their apartment.
Judge, this is case number 140 on the calendar in the matter of Galindo Robinson versus Linden. Parties have been sworn in.
Who's going to speak for the roommates?
Oh, I will.
And your last name is?
Robinson.
Miss Robinson, and I believe there was one other person?
Yes, Your Honor.
One other person?
Yes, it was Alyssa.
Okay. And did you all move in at the same time?
Yes, we did. We moved in on October 15th.
Did you sign a lease?
Yes, we did.
You said you moved in on
October 15th.
Of 2019?
Correct.
Did all 4 roommates sign the lease?
There was only 3 roommates total, and yes, we are all on the lease.
And what was the duration of the lease?
It was a 10-month leasing term.
There came a time when there was a problem with the defendant and her relationship with the two of you. And from what I gather from the complaint and the answer, that emanated from the fact that she had a boyfriend, and there was a post that her boyfriend made that you felt was compromising.
Definitely.
And you brought it up to her, and subsequent to that, things were sort of tense. The boyfriend didn't come around anymore. And sometime in May of this year, the issue of the photograph, the posting came up again. There was an argument, and the defendant left. That was in May, correct?
Correct. May 21st, 2019.
Okay. And she had already paid her rent for May.
Correct.
Her portion of the rent. And what was your portion of the rent, Miss Linden?
Me and Arena both shared it. It was $780 for both of our rooms. Alyssa paid a little bit more, but I paid around $800.
Would you tell me what your rent was? Paid May's rent.
Yes, Your Honor.
And when you moved out, you'll tell me about that.
So I moved
day
out
in May that you...
Yeah.
I didn't ask you yet.
Okay.
You continued to pay rent for the month of June, even though you weren't living there, right?
Yes.
There's no issue that she paid the month of June, correct?
No, correct.
So she paid May, and she wasn't there for part of the time in May. She paid June's rent, and she wasn't there at all. She paid the month of July.
Correct.
Pursuant to her lease.
Correct.
And her agreement, even though she wasn't there at all. Did you have your own room?
Yes, I did.
Did you have your own room, Miss Robinson?
Yes, I did as well.
So it was a 3-bedroom apartment.
Correct.
For the month of June and July, I want you to be very careful about how you answer this question. Did anyone sleep in Miss Linden's bedroom?
No, they did not, Your Honor.
Is what you're telling me that there was no overnight guest in Miss Linden's apartment, June or July?
No, there was not anybody in her room, Your Honor.
I'm not talking about living there. I'm talking about stayed over
Yes,
in her room.
No, we did not have anybody at the house in those months that did sleep over.
The month that she did not pay, which was the last month, and there was a prorated piece of that, how much was her prorated piece of rent for the month of August?
The prorated amount was $5.
Money owed for prorated rent and apartment damage. And that figure you give me of $556 is what you are suing for. What do you allege the apartment damage was?
We got receipts back with invoices saying that they replaced the entire carpet all throughout the house, along with closet doors, paint, and cleaning fees.
Just to say, well, that's not my question to you. Is what you're saying that the $556 includes what the building is charging for taking out of security and charging for you? I didn't ask you that. I asked you what her prorated share of rent was that you are claiming that she owes you. That can't be the same figure as damages.
Prorated amount would be, if it was split between the 3 of us, I believe it was a figure of $1,200. And with that, split between 3 people would be $400 each.
Are you talking about her prorated share of rent?
Yes, till August 14th, not including the damages.
Did you live there in August?
We did not. We moved out July 25th of 2019.
She was already paid through the month of July.
Yes, and then we still had the prorated amount until the end of August 14th. And we also have evidence here saying that she stated that we will all be obligated to pay until August 14th from Jasmine Linden.
Do you have to show me, you said in your answer that you have a text from one or both of the plaintiffs that said if you dropped off the keys, you would not owe any more money?
That is correct.
Do you have that text?
I do.
I'd like to see it.
This is part of it, and there's another page. There's actually 2.
Who sent that to you?
Arena did.
Arena is?
Arena Robinson, one of the plaintiffs.
Okay. if I'd like to see the next part.
And the last page is where I stated that my keys were turned in.
Did you have security deposit when you moved in?
We did. It was $199, and we split it 3 ways.
$199?
That is correct, Your Honor.
When did you give the building notice, Miss Robinson, the lessor of the apartment that you were living in, that you were moving?
We gave them notice on July 14th, 2019, on a 30-day notice.
Your lease was up in August.
Yes, we actually moved into a new apartment, and in order to get all of our finances straight, we moved in a little bit earlier than our lease was up, but we still continue to pay at the prior apartment.
On condition that you were out on the 25th of July.
Correct. We were
letting you out of your lease.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You didn't have cats, did you?
I did not.
You did not have cats. You have a cat.
They both do.
We both do.
No, you have a cat, Miss Robinson.
We do, yes.
Yeah, both have cats. And there was some cat damage in the apartment that they're claiming. The other damage you mentioned was a hole. Now, do we know how that hole happened?
Yes, we do. It was from all of our mounted TVs. We had 3 mounted TVs in the apartment. 4. Sorry.
Okay. And how much did they charge you for spackling that hole?
We spackled it ourselves.
Okay. I'm going to get to your counterclaim. Your counterclaim is silly. It's dismissed.
Oh, my counterclaim, Your Honor, if I can.
Your whole counterclaim is dismissed.
I know. I just wanted to. It's mainly just about the damage to my couch that their cats did, and that they did. Okay. There's a burn mark on it from them smoking on it, and their cats from scratching on it.
Okay. Your counterclaim is dismissed.
Okay.
Now, I want to hear about the event that caused you to move out. I'm going to consider that and whether or not you have any part of paying rent after you paid for both May, June, and July when you weren't there, and they moved out themselves in the month of July.
Yeah.
You want to briefly tell me about that event that you say you felt unsafe, so you moved out? Let me hear.
Yeah, so we, in May, at the end of May, we got into a disagreement and an argument over my boyfriend, the fact that they didn't like him and they didn't want him over anymore.
You have to tell me, not that they didn't like him. I want to know who said what to whom.
Arena.
Somebody said Arena said to you.
She sent a text message because he was going to come up there that week, and she sent a text message saying that he was no longer welcome at the apartment and that neither one of them wanted him up at the apartment, and that the lease was up in August, so I'm sure I had plans to move out, and so, good. Sorry.
Okay. Just speak slowly, not like you're speaking to a contemporary, but to an elderly person.
Okay.
They sent you a text message. I would like to see the text message that Arena sent you.
I don't have that printed out, but I can pull it up on my phone if
we have
that's
it, Your
okay.
Honor.
I'd like to see it.
Would you like to see the photo as well? We have a photo attached as well.
I didn't ask for the photo.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to see. Okay. So my question to you, Miss Robinson, and Galindo?
Yes.
Is that your last name?
Yes.
Did the defendant's boyfriend ever do anything to either of you, either inside or outside of the apartment that the 3 of you shared?
As far as...
Miss Galindo? No. Just a second. That's a question. Did the defendant's boyfriend ever do inside or outside of the apartment, physically?
No.
Did he ever say, in the times that he visited you, did he ever say anything to either one of you that you would like to tell me about that was threatening or menacing, either inside or outside of your apartment?
No, he did not.
Then you can't tell her who she can have in or out of the apartment. Plain and simple. That was not a side agreement of yours. That was in writing. You had a lease. If you told me that the boyfriend, if he put up some obscene picture of himself on the internet, that's his own stupidity. But evidently he was there frequently, and when he was frequently there, he never did anything. Well, I'll ask you one other question. Did he ever do in your apartment anything unlawful?
No, he did not.
Then you can't make those restrictions on a tenant and telling a tenant that they can't have a social guest because you don't like them and you think that they're crude, lewd, for whatever reason, not good for her, whatever the reason. She's an adult. If she signed a lease, you can't tell her she can't have somebody over. You want to say something, Miss Galindo?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
I stood up from the table and I just started dancing, and Darren touched my behind. And then I went to sit down and he came punch me in my... Sorry. He came and punched me in my face.
Arena Robinson and Alyssa Galindo claim former roommate Jasmine Linden owes for rent and damages to their apartment. Alyssa is countersuing for the return of rent, storage fees, and a damaged couch.
Well, you want to say something, Miss Galindo?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Yeah.
The reason
Go
as
ahead.
to why we said that is because she would have her boyfriend over multiple days at a time. He would be over for 3 to 4 days at a time, spend the night. He wasn't just visiting casually. He wasn't just making an appearance. When they were both there together, they were there for multiple days on end. It wasn't like he just came to visit.
That's okay. That's okay. Your case is dismissed. We're done. Thank you very much. Go home. Be happy.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That's it. You're done. Goodbye.
This case is completed. Parties are excused.
I'm glad that she saw that it was a total, like, it's totally, like, then they didn't have a case.
There are some people who sign leases and break leases.
So I'm glad that she saw that I was truthful and that they had no
End of the lease.
what they were trying to say I did or didn't do.
She, on the other hand, decided to just completely ghost us.
They felt like they had what they had to say, what they had to say, and we went our separate ways. It was best for everybody.
I don't think that is very mature as an adult, so that's all I have to say about that.
My grandma paid $1,200 for it. It was a brand new couch.
The couch was free. Ridiculous.
And their cats ripped it up, and they've also, there's a burn mark in the couch.
It didn't get
Exactly.
destroyed.
It was definitely a lesson learned, and I'm glad just to put this all behind me.
Time to move on and get her out of my life.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Larry versus Harrington. Step forward, please.
Regina Larry is suing her former friend, Darren Harrington, for punching her in the face during a get-together at a friend's house.
Miss Larry, it is your claim that the defendant, who you knew, assaulted you.
Yes.
By punching you in the face.
Yes.
Mr. Harrington acknowledges that he punched you in the face. Mr. Harrington said he was acting in self-defense. Okay. When did this happen?
I believe it was his birthday, August 16th.
2013?
Yes.
And there was a party?
Well, yeah, there was a little get-together.
How many people?
There was, what, 5 of us, 6 of us.
Besides you and the defendant, who else was there?
It was Vincent, it was Lala, it was Dougie, and my brother came in afterwards.
What time did the incident take place?
At first we were playing cards, and after cards, everybody started doing their own thing. I stood up from the table and I just started dancing, and Darren touched my behind. And then,
he did?
Yes. And with a reflex, I did like that, and he fell on the floor. And I told him, don't you ever disrespect me like that again. He said, all right, I got this. All right, I'm sorry. And then I went to sit down, and he came, punch me in my... Sorry. He came and punched me in my face.
Okay, go ahead.
How in the world, how big she is, why I want to fight her? She bigger than me. Why I want to start a fight with her?
Let's start out with, you were at Vincent's
We
house.
was at Vincent's house, yes.
She got up to dance.
Yes.
And she was dancing.
Yes. Yes.
Did you touch her behind?
I ain't touch her behind.
Where did you touch her?
I ain't touch her. She touched me.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Had you ever had trouble with Miss Larry?
No.
Could you think of any reason why she would just come over if you had no trouble with her
She was
and
drunk.
slap you?
She was drunk.
What about you?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Regina Larry says former friend Darren Harrington punched her in the face during a get-together. Darren claims he was protecting himself.
Let's start out with,
Yes.
she got up to dance.
Yes.
Did you touch her behind?
I ain't touch her behind.
Where did you touch her?
I ain't touch her. She touched me.
Okay, so she was up there dancing.
She was dancing.
And what were you doing?
I was by the kitchen, by the sink. I turned around.
Was she dancing in the kitchen?
She was dancing. Yes, ma'am.
In the kitchen?
Yes, she was dancing in the kitchen.
Is that where you were dancing?
No, ma'am. I was at the table. We were playing
Which
cards.
table?
At the dining room table. There's a kitchen and there's a dining room. We were playing cards at the dining room table. I just got up out my seat and just started dancing.
Just a second. So what you're saying is that this all transpired in the dining area?
Yes.
Was it in the dining area or the kitchen?
It was in the kitchen.
Kitchen. Okay, so what happened in the kitchen, Mr. Harrington?
I was by the sink. I turned around and she hit me in my face for no reason. Then she threw me on the ground. My friend Vincent, he the one grabbed her, so his friend grabbed me. So she started tried to come at me, then that's when I had swung on her for self-defense, because she was going to try to kill me. Yeah.
Mr. Harrington, had you ever had trouble with Miss Larry?
No.
Then could you think of a reason why she would hit you?
She started everything, the whole day.
No, I'm just asking, could you think of any reason why she would just slap you?
She was drunk.
What about you?
I was tipsy.
You were tipsy?
I was tipsy.
You would all had something to drink that day.
And she the one bought it.
Good. I don't care who bought them. Good for her. Why didn't you buy the drinks?
Because my birthday.
Okay. Miss Larry, who is this gentleman?
That's my brother. He came in afterwards. I was bringing...
So he wasn't there?
Well, yes, he was there.
When it happened?
Yes.
Would you stand up, please, sir? What is your last name?
Larry.
Okay, Mr. Larry. You know Mr. Harrington for a long time?
Not that long.
How long?
A couple of months. I just knew that he was friends with my sister.
Okay. Did you see this incident?
Yes, I did.
Were you playing cards as well?
No, I was just standing by waiting for a ride home from my sister.
Okay. Was she drinking?
Yes, we were all drinking.
She wasn't going to drive home.
Well, no, I don't. Well, I was waiting for a ride. I didn't know her decision. I didn't know what she's going to make.
Tell me what you observed.
They were playing cards, and it came to an end, and everybody went their separate ways. And she just stood up out of nowhere, and she just started dancing. And the gentleman, Mr. Harris, touched her on the butt, and out of instinct, she just threw her arm back, fell to the floor. She approached him, said, "Don't touch me in that way again," and that was that. As she went to go sit down, out of nowhere, Mr. Harris struck her in the face.
Did you seek medical treatment?
Yes, I did.
I'd like to see your bill, please. How did you get an injury to your left shoulder and left wrist?
Because when he hit me, and then we were fighting, that was the second time, okay? We were already had tussled. And that's when I was like, you leave me alone. And when he charged me like a football player, that's when Vincent came and pulled them apart. I had my arm around him like this. So when Vincent and must have pulled, I must have hurt, because...
Okay.
Yeah.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Well, where did he punch you?
Punched me in the forehead right here.
Oh, in your forehead.
And that's when we started tussling. That's how I hurt my arm.
Okay, got it. Okay, so what you're seeking is the payment of your medical bills and some money for pain and suffering. You're seeking $1,500.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,500. Keep your hands off the lady, sir. Don't act disrespectfully.
Parties are excused, miss. Step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You rented a car for him. You destroyed the car.
Accidentally.
Who gave him the credit card?
He's a big manipulator.
He played you.
Next, Judge Judy.
She's the one started. She was dancing, then I turned around, she slapped me in my face.
Because it happened earlier that day.
Oh, she put a bill on me. Yep, she so did. She put a bill on me.
He disrespected me earlier that day by opening a can of beer in my car.
My whole brand new outfit, she put a bill on me.
I said what I had to say to him, and I told him that I should let him out, but I didn't. We were on our way back to Vincent's house, so.
No, she grabbed out my hand and put a bill on me.
He needs to stop drinking and hitting on women.
I haven't hit no woman.
I'm the second woman he has hit on.
She would come after me, so I had to defend myself.
That means he don't have respect for himself or others.
No, sir. She don't got no butt. What I'm gonna try to grab on her for?
I mean, he's a cool cat, but, he needs to change his ways.
She all right. Like I said, she cool. She all right.
But I'm glad that she was on my side with this.
It was frightening. It was menacing.
An explosion of anger shakes a neighborhood.
You body Englishing her all the way back onto her property, screaming in her face. That's what I saw.
Move your car! If someone is damaging my car, I'm not going to allow it.
Does rage run in their family?
Uncivilized behavior.
This is Judge Judy. LaShawn Oliver is suing her neighbor, Tyler Deku, for an assault during a dispute over parking.
Judge, this is case number 130 on the calendar in the matter of Oliver versus Deku. Parties have been sworn in. Ladies, have a seat, please.
Miss Oliver, how long have you been living in your house?
Since 2012.
Who else lives with you?
My son and my daughter, they reside with me.
Do you own your home or do you rent it?
I rent an apartment.
Does the apartment come with a parking space?
Yes, ma'am.
Within the unit?
Within
the complex?
Correct.
This case is about a dispute over parking. You and or your father live across the street from the plaintiff, is that right?
Yes.
Do you live with your father?
Yes, Your Honor.
Who else lives with your father?
I have 2 younger brothers and my mother.
And when did you move into your, is it an apartment or a house?
It's a house, but we also rent, and we've only been there for maybe 6 months now.
And your houses are across the street from each other?
Yes.
Your case is about an alleged assault that took place, and you are alleging that the defendant, in a dispute, came to your home and instigated a fight where she assaulted you, and you want to be compensated for that.
Yes, Your Honor.
The defendant says she came over merely to have a chat, and it was actually you who threatened her and began what turned into a confrontation, which resulted in the police being called. Does anyone have a diagram or a photograph that I can look at of how these properties are so that I can see the parking space that we're talking about? Because what I understand, Ms. Deku, from what I understand, the plaintiff parks her car in the street in front of her unit. Your father also parks his car across the street from where he lives.
Yes.
On the same side of the street as where the plaintiff lives.
Yes, he does occasionally.
How occasionally?
Every once in a while. We all have our own vehicles, so we may need to park on the street sometimes, but it's a public street, so, you know, it's right in front of our house or right in front of someone else's home, but it's still on the street. We don't block anything. So.
Got it. So your father was parking across the street on the same side of the street as where plaintiff lives, but plaintiff was also parking her car in that same area, and your problem was she was parking too close to your father and therefore making it very difficult to get in and out, and someone,
no, not
according
exactly.
to you, had seen, well, tell me exactly.
Basically, Your Honor, she would park literally her bumper on top of our front bumper. So she's bagging up, and it wouldn't be not a space, not an inch, nothing. Her bumper was literally damaging my father's.
Touching, well, that's what I said. I said you're parking too close to your father's car. Now, that's why I wanted to see a photograph. Was there any reason why someone would have to park that close?
I really don't know. We asked her to move it.
Okay. Do you have photographs or
I do have video,
diagram for me to look? I'd like to see it.
Okay.
I'd like to see what you're telling me. Do you have a diagram that's easy or a photograph for me to see?
I have a still photo, but it's not pretty clear. I wanted to double check if it's clear for you, Your Honor.
Okay.
I have one. Just...
That doesn't help me much. I have to see without people. I just want to see at this point.
The cars are behind the people that are in the photo. So the red vehicle is my vehicle, and the gray vehicle on that side is their vehicle. But the video that I have, it does show the actual space and how everyone...
Well, I'd like to see that.
Okay.
So stop looking for the photograph right now and watch the video.
Okay.
Get away from my door.
What is the threat? That's not a threat. It's assault. Okay. Okay, did I do it? It don't matter. Did I do it?
So if you watch behind where she's speaking, that's where the vehicles are parked.
Well, so I can't see. So there is a driveway there.
I did, though. So now what? But I did. So now what? And I'll do it tomorrow. And I'll do it the day after that.
Just get off our car.
If you don't want nobody at your door, stop being a disrespectful, bitter.
Anyway, back up.
I still keep walking up on y'all.
6 feet distance because I'm a pepper spray you next time.
Go get it. Go get it. Yeah. Go get it.
But you pepper spray nobody.
Move your car. 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 You don't got a mask on either.
Yeah, because I came out
of exactly, because you're other people's car.
Back up.
How about you move your car? Move your car and I'll leave you alone.
I figured that's what it was. Now, the red car belongs to whom?
That's my vehicle, Your Honor.
And the gray car belongs to whom?
That's ours.
Okay. So what I see, Miss Oliver, is that it looks to me as if you are parking in a cutout where people have to move in to get to their cars.
Yes, Your Honor.
Correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, just a second. Miss Deku, I'm not excusing your behavior.
No, I understand because I'm
not excusing your behavior.
Yeah,
I'm going to finish watching the video. I'm not excusing your behavior.
No, I understand. I shouldn't have acted the way I did.
You shouldn't have? You think so? Mm-hmm. Is there any more to the video that you want to show me?
The second video that is shown on there, it shows how the assault, but the battery, where her mom actually makes the first contact with my daughter.
Is the other woman in the video that I saw before your mother?
Yes.
So you came from across the street to tell her to move her car?
Yes, I went to knock on her door.
Now, can I see the cars again? Can I see the cars again? Is there a car parked behind your father's car?
A car parked behind
Is there
whose?
a car? Your father's car.
No.
Is there a car parked behind the gray car? So why didn't he just back up?
Because there's someone's house. It's someone's driveway.
But why didn't he just...
He couldn't move. He was in the correct space. She wasn't.
It's in the correct space. Mm-hmm. But what I asked you was, what was the reason for the confrontation?
He couldn't
if your
move.
Father
If he
wanted
back
to get,
a little
listen,
bit, he would have been in someone else's.
Listen carefully to what I'm saying. Was he leaving?
No.
Was he going out? So all he had to do, in order to prevent this confrontation, she was parking in the wrong spot. But if he wanted to leave, it wasn't a question that he couldn't leave. He pulls back because there was nobody there because it was a driveway. So it wasn't as if his car was being held captive because she was an inch too close. He could have backed out and easily just left. So what I want to know...
Why would he leave? That's what was confusing. We weren't ready to go.
No, he didn't have to leave. No, listen. I'm not saying he had to go. Stop looking quickly. Try to open up your mind. When he had to leave, whenever that was, her car wasn't interfering with him. They could have had her car towed because it was parked in the driveway. But when and if and whenever, on what day, at whatever time your father wanted to leave, all he had to do was pull back into the driveway and pull out. Nobody was blocking him from leaving.
Ma'am. Your Honor, that wasn't the issue. The
I
issue
don't
was
care
her car
what the
was
issue
putting
is.
Damage on my father's. It wasn't about us leaving.
Show me the damage. Just a second. The damage to your father's car.
No problem. One moment. Let me find the pictures for you.
I see I don't have a counterclaim. Shh. Just, I'm going to look at the rest of your video in a minute. Nothing is... Yes.
Okay. You can literally see my father's bumper is being pushed down. There's no space in between. And it's not the first time. This is the second time. His whole bumper is being cracked. It's being cracked. There's no space in between. This is all damage.
No, I see this. No, I don't see any damage that her car caused to your father's bumper.
The whole bumper is literally, like, being pushed down. This is not supposed to have space in between the car and the light. There's not supposed to be space.
What I'm telling you is I don't see that her car did that damage.
Okay.
I don't see that her car did that damage.
If she don't see it, it's fine. Okay.
I mean, I don't see it. I see that there's damage to this gray car, a couple of spots where it's damaged, but I don't see her car at that height doing that damage to the car, unless you have a video that you want to show me.
I do have video. I have more pictures, and I also have a witness here.
Is the witness here on this for this date? And this incident happened on what day?
July 23rd.
Okay. Since July 23rd, has your father filed any claim against the plaintiff? Just a second. So the answer is your father has not filed a claim against her for damage to his car.
No, because we sold the car.
I don't care whether you sold the car. That's up to you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Didn't you ever hear of COVID screaming in her face?
If you didn't want to catch COVID and you don't want someone yelling in your face, I wouldn't come outside and get near them.
Something wrong with you. What do you do for a living?
I own my own charity.
You own your own charity?
Yes, I do.
This will be a great ad for you.
LaShawn Oliver claims neighbor Tyler Deku assaulted her during an argument over parking.
Okay, now I'm going to see the rest of the video because I have no counterclaim here. I have what looks to me like a very hot situation that was precipitated by the defendant.
Would I be able to present my video?
Absolutely love to see a video after I see hers. Right now I see you and your mother on her side of the property and you body Englishing her all the way back onto her property, screaming in her face. That's what I saw. I didn't see any physical contact yet. I saw a lot of foul-mouthing and menacing kind of behavior by you, not by her. So if you have another video for me to see, I'd be more than happy to see it. In your turn. You see the rest of the video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Who is that man?
My father. Him and my mother were trying to stop me.
So your father is going towards her apartment?
No, I was towards her apartment.
He was
trying.
No, I just asked who the man was. I didn't know who the man was. So now you have you and your father at her apartment.
Yes.
It's a threat.
That's not a threat.
It's assault.
Okay.
Okay, did I do it?
It don't matter.
Did I do it?
You're not going to jail. You didn't threaten
You
her.
that scared?
No.
Exactly. Yes, you are. You are.
I wouldn't be standing here if I was scared of you.
Bitch, you have to bang on your door. What are you talking about?
We
rolling the door. It don't matter. I already did. So now what?
Don't come to
I
my
did
door
though.
again.
So now
Don't
what?
come to my
But I
door
did.
again.
So now what? And I'll do it tomorrow. And I'll do it the day after that.
Hey,
Just
if you don't want nobody at your door,
if you don't want nobody at your door, stop being a disrespectful old.
Anyway, back up.
I still keep walking up on you. I don't know what you want to
6
do.
feet distance because I'm a pepper spray.
This happened this year?
It happened last
this
year, July 23rd, 2020.
Didn't you ever hear of COVID?
Yeah, she bit me in the middle of the altercation, so...
Didn't you ever hear of COVID screaming in her face? Didn't you
she
ever
came
hear about
outside.
that when
She
you
had a
thought-
choice to not come outside, ma'am. If you didn't want to catch COVID and you don't want someone yelling in your face,
What
I work
do you do for a living?
I work for a nonprofit organization, and I do music. I'm an entrepreneur. I own businesses. I own my own charity.
You own your own charity?
Yes, I do.
This will be a great ad for you.
I
That
was
would be a great
angry,
ad
and
for
she
you.
was extremely disrespectful. When it comes to my parents, all of that good stuff goes thrown out of the window. I'm
At this
sorry.
point, Your Honor,
I'm not happy
house.
about it.
You
I'm not
came
saying
to her house.
You're
You-
right. And
you
her
came to
car
her
was
house.
and her car was on my car.
You-
Exactly. That was the reason. I have probable cause for the reason I acted the way that I did.
Well,
if someone's
I'm
car,
telling you.
if someone
I'm
is
telling you,
damaging my
when
car,
you show me,
if
when
someone
you
is
show
damaging
me,
my car, I'm not going
they're
to
going to cut
allow
off
it.
your mic, not mine.
That's fine.
Do you understand?
I don't
You don't
mind.
talk over me. So if you tell me that you have probable cause, I would love to take a look at your law degree.
You don't have to have
If
a
you're
law degree
telling
to
me you
have
had
a probable
cause to
You
go
just have to
over-
have a law degree to actually.
Well, you have to know what probable cause is. If you
I
think
know what it
that
is,
somebody
and if I-
touching your father's car...
That's not probable cause.
Why
it's
don't
not
you-
touching it, it's damaging it. If someone comes in your home hitting your door with something, are you going to not try to stop them? Are you going to tell them that's not okay? Are you going to allow it to happen? Exactly.
I want to know what kind of charity you have.
What did she say?
You said you had a charity.
Why does that matter? There's nothing to do with the case.
All right. Do you have a photograph of her touching you or a video of her touching you?
Well, towards the end of it, you see where the mother pushes, and then the actual still shot is where my daughter dropped her phone.
I would like to see it.
See, at this point, she, right before this...
Exactly. And it's on your video.
So if you rewind it...
I would be wary of that charity.
Okay,
They don't know
that
the
part right
charity.
there.
That was why I didn't tell you.
So
continue.
I would like
to get smart. Nobody cares.
I would like to see any bills that you have or a doctor's report of the injuries that you sustained.
So I did not go to the hospital, but I did have injuries to my eye from her kicking me.
Okay. Do you have a photograph
Can
of
you
that?
prove that I kicked you in that altercation? Because if you can't, then it probably wasn't because of me.
Bird, put her out.
Ma'am, step out.
Okay.
Thank you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Is there any reason why you didn't park in your garage?
My son and my daughter have their vehicles, and they were...
Oh, well, but then you can't do that. You have to drive a little bit further to find a parking space, Miss Oliver.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. LaShawn Oliver is accusing neighbor Tyler Deku of assaulting her during an argument.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I do have testimony that I requested from the court and the police report also. It states that my daughter witnessed him choking me,
No, just
the
a
father.
Just a second.
Yes, Your Honor.
Just a second. I asked you. Is she talking? Are you talking?
I was.
Out. Out.
Okay.
to lie on someone that's not here. My husband's not here. He did not choke her.
Out! It makes my life much simpler. I asked you if you had any medical reports. You said no. You showed me a photograph. Fine. You spoke about other testimony. Was there a criminal proceeding?
No, Your Honor.
In what other court did you have a proceeding?
I requested a protective order.
You had a hearing on a protective order. You filed a protective order against whom?
All three of the defendants, Ms. DeCout, her mother, and her father.
Was it denied?
The mother and father's protective order was denied, but the court left standing DeCout.
Against this defendant?
Correct.
I can understand that. It's a very, very unfortunate situation, Miss Oliver. And, Miss Oliver, you do understand that I don't condone that kind of uncivilized conduct, which it was. Coming over to you, screaming at you, coming to your house, which I know that they did, which is outrageous and can be frightening. You do know it all started because you were parking in the wrong space.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, there would appear to me to be no reason why you would park in the wrong space, not a wrong space, but actually park so that you were inhibiting other people from comfortably getting in and out of their garage spaces. From the video you showed me, you were a full car length into the driveway. Is there any reason why you didn't park in your garage?
My son and my daughter have their vehicles, and they were...
Oh, well, but then you can't do that. You have to drive a little bit further to find a parking space, Miss Oliver.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Well, that's a very, very good idea, because these people and the way they do business are going to damage your car, and you won't know how it happens. At least you won't be able to prove it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of an assault? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Now, I don't believe that you caused any of the alleged damage to his car that she showed me. In any event, they don't have the car anymore. They sold it, and they sold it without bringing any sort of a lawsuit against you for damage, which suggests to me that damage issue was a whole lot of who shot John. They behaved badly, and I'm not sure that the injuries that you were alleged have happened to your eye as a result of her kicking you in the eye actually happened that way. I get those red spots in my eye all the time. If it was a result of being kicked, there would be some sort of bruise someplace else. In any event, I don't think that she had the right to come over and confront you. I don't think that that incident is worth whatever you're suing for, which is $4,000. But in order to teach her a lesson, I'm awarding you $500. That will make a statement that you got an order of protection, but her conduct was such that it was frightening and it was menacing, and she's not allowed to do that. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $500.
Thank you,
We're
Your
finished.
Honor.
Thank you.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
She said the shotgun is with my son who lives in Oklahoma City.
I sold it. I think that you're a fibber. There's only one attitude here.
Next Judge Judy.
Well, I felt it was fair. I just wanted someone to see exactly what was demonstrated. I hope that we just go on with our own separate lives. Time to find another parking spot.
You decided to put new flooring throughout the house.
To start, I gave him $500 up front.
Workers wanted her to pay in full.
The weekend was coming up.
They told me they would have it done by the weekend, so I gave them $1,300 in cash.
But she was floored when they didn't return.
Who asked the plaintiff for the balance of the money?
Who?
What are you asking me for?
This is Judge Judy. 20-year-old Logan Garinger is suing concrete laborer 20-year-old Colton Wallace for a partial refund of the money he charged her to install the floor in her new home.
This is case number 162 on the calendar in the matter of Garinger versus Wallace. Parties have been sworn in. Gentlemen, have a seat. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Miss Garinger, is this the first house that you bought in 2020?
Yes.
How big a house is it?
I think altogether it was...
You still own it?
Yes, I do. I don't know it off the top of my head, Your Honor.
Who did you buy it from?
My mom was the one that had purchased it, and then I bought it from her.
When did your mother buy it?
I don't know.
When did you buy it from your mother?
I still don't know.
Well, you have to know when you bought the house.
We moved in October.
Who's we?
Me and my roommate. Also my witness. Her name's Lindsay, Your Honor.
How much did you pay for it?
$315,000, Your Honor.
And where is it located?
It's in Garden City, Idaho.
How much is your mortgage?
$1,500 a month.
Good. So far, you're doing fine. I know you didn't expect to being asked these questions, but so far, you're doing okay.
I apologize for not knowing. Yes, I do. I'm a waitress.
And what does your roommate do?
She's a waitress with me as well.
Does she pay you rent?
Yes.
How much?
$600 a month.
Great. So together you managed to support a house and a mortgage and pay taxes?
Yes.
Before you moved into the house, you decided to put new flooring throughout the house. And you were talking to a friend, and the friend said, I have a friend, and together we can, you know, if you want it done cheaper, we can do it for you if you buy the materials. That's what this case is about. This is one of the men who you hired to put in the flooring in the house. The deal was that your dad was going to buy the materials and you would just pay them for labor. You would pay him $1,800 for labor to install the floor. Picked out the flooring?
Yes, I had. Because he was the one that had bought it at first.
Who's he?
My father.
Did you ever tell the defendant that you were buying clip-on flooring, clip-on wood flooring?
I never said that I was buying clip-on flooring, no. I didn't know what type it was, but he knew before he came to the house to do it.
Just 1 second. Just 1 second. Don't tell me what he knew. Just answer my question. So far, you're doing fine.
Okay.
Did the defendant go with your father to buy the flooring?
No.
Do you know what clip-on flooring is?
No.
Neither do I. What do you do for a living, Mr. Wallace?
I do self-labor. I did concrete and home remodels for the past 4 years.
You do concrete work?
Yeah.
Do you work for yourself or are you freelance?
Currently work for myself, yes.
What kind of concrete work?
Foundations and footings, and we did driveways as well.
Who's we?
The company I used to work for.
What was the last job that you had for yourself?
It was home remodels.
Month and year?
I want to say March 2020.
So that's almost a year ago?
Yeah.
So that's the last time you did concrete work, was almost a year ago. How have you been supporting yourself?
I do jobs. Currently, like what I was doing for her, I make...
You do odd jobs?
Yeah.
Prior to trying to put in her wood floor, I want you to give me the name of the person for whom you installed a wood floor.
Cannon.
Were they referred to you?
It's a friend of mine.
Did you do one room or more than one room for?
I did one room for him.
And how much did you charge him?
$1,100.
Was it a clip-on floor?
Correct.
When was the last time you installed a floor that was not a clip-on floor?
Never.
Never. So when you saw that the plaintiff's father, who has agreed between the two of you, would purchase the material, bought a wood floor that was not a clip-on floor, right?
Yeah.
Did you tell the plaintiff, I don't know how to do this, I only know how to do clip-on floors?
No, Your Honor. So when we got in contact with each other, she said she didn't know.
No. Her father bought the materials, brought it to the house. You look at it. On what day do you remember that her father brought the materials to the house?
It was already there.
What date was that?
It was already, I'm not sure. It was already there before I showed up.
Okay, just a second. On what date did your father bring the materials to the house? If you don't know, we'll ask him.
October 14th, Your Honor.
10/14. And that's when you delivered the flooring to your daughter's new home.
Yes.
And you showed up on the 15th of October.
Correct, I think, yes.
Well, what did you do when you looked at this flooring that wasn't clip-on?
I know how to do adhesive flooring. I've never done it. But I mean, it's pretty simple when you look at, you know, how it connects and how it bonds together. So then I didn't look at her and tell her, no, I don't know how to do this.
The plaintiff gave you how much money as a deposit for the whole job, which was $1,800? How much did the plaintiff give you and when?
She gave me $1,500 in cash, and it was...
No. I want you to be very careful with what you tell me.
100%.
Did she give you any money before you started work?
No.
Do you want to tell me in October what you gave him to start work?
Yes, Your Honor. So to start, I gave him $500 up front to go to Home Depot and get any of the supplies that he needed.
Did you give him $500 in cash?
Yes.
Does that sound...
Not really.
Does that sound familiar to you?
I had to buy tools for the adhesive. I had my witness with me, and I was also teaching him how to do flooring. So I buy a skill saw and then a tile roller.
Why don't you answer my question? I didn't ask you for a whole long story.
Okay.
All I asked you was, did she give you any money?
Yes.
You said she gave... Well, then just answer the question.
Okay, yes.
She gave you money to... How much did she give you?
Around $500.
Before you started...
Around $500.
All right. So she gave you $500, and you wanted to show your friend what to do.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now you've started the job, and you're supposed to get paid the other $1,300 when you're what? Tell me the word.
When we were finished.
Right. But before you were finished, the weekend was coming up. I want to see if anything rings your bell. Before you finished and the weekend is coming up, who asked the plaintiff for the balance of the money because you needed it?
Who?
Who?
I don't know. Me?
Ask the plaintiff. What are you asking me for? I'm a television personality. Why are you asking me if I gave her money? I didn't. Who asked her for the balance before you were finished? Who asked for the balance before they were finished?
They both said they wanted it for the weekend, so since I thought they were friends...
When you say both, who's both? Somebody had to say, or they both were talking at the same time, both he and the person who I can't see over there? Somebody put a camera on him. Okay. This genius also, were they together when they asked you for the $1,300?
So it started off with Aiden, and then Colton took over everything, so Colton was the one that asked for it for the weekend.
Well, tell me where that conversation took place.
In the kitchen of the house, when there was already progress made. They told me they would have it done by the weekend, so I gave them $1,300 in cash.
So now you were fully paid?
They were fully paid, yes, and I have evidence if you'd like to see it.
I don't need evidence. He doesn't deny it. He started out this case by saying she gave me $1,800 for labor. That's what she gave. That's what he started with. All right. How many rooms did they complete?
No. Your Honor, they completed almost 2 rooms.
Do you have photographs of those 2 rooms?
We have video.
The work that they did?
We have video.
I'd like to see the video. I'd like to see it.
Here we are in the dining room with edging that needs done. Edging that needs done. And they left the hall. We've put a few pieces in. Nothing in here. Nothing in here. In the hall. Some in here, which will have to be ripped up. And nothing.
Okay, so they did 2 rooms. Not completely, but they did 2 rooms. And they did it with your materials. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yes. Okay. Well, did they not come back? What happened? Now you can tell me what happened.
I had came back, and there was no progress made that Monday. Because
when?
The Monday the following week.
Okay, so they didn't work on the weekend, but they had been paid on Friday.
Yes.
Okay. Monday, nothing got done. And?
So I had texted him, and I was like, are you, like, what's up? I can give you more time if you need it, but I have a dateline that I do need to meet, because in the process of all of this, we were moving all of our stuff out of our old place.
Just okay. Don't go into tributaries. Just stay in the river.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You texted him and said, what's happening? And what did he say?
He didn't answer either of us. And then I had messaged him, and I was like, I'm going to take you to court. And he said, okay, take me to court.
And
it was not tight. As a result of the steering wheel jumping around, the truck was swerving like this.
Correct.
Like you are, bobbing and weaving right now. And would it have been tighter if you had a license?
Logan Geringer claims Colton Wallace never completed installing the floor in her new home. She is suing for a partial refund of the money she paid.
Okay, you texted him and said, what's happening? And what did he say?
And he was just like, I don't know. I don't have anyone to come help work with me right now. Just give me a second. I'll get back to you. Nothing had been done since then. My dad even offered to cut the flooring as long as he would put it down. My dad had just had major back surgery, so he was recovering from that. Otherwise, he would have done it himself. He didn't answer either of us. And then I had messaged him, and I was like, hey, I'm just asking for $800 back. I really appreciate the work you did do and the time that you did take to spend, but I'm going to take you to court otherwise if you can't give it back to me. And he said, okay, take me to court, and I have evidence of all of that in a Snapchat
I'd like
text.
to see that.
Okay.
I'd like to see that. Your message to him and his to you.
Okay. So...
anything. Okay. And what did he say to you? What did he answer you? So you asked him for $800 back.
Yes.
You appreciate the work that you did. Keep going. What an idiot. So you asked him for $800 back, and you thought that that was fair. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
I do, too. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $800. We're done. Thank you very much.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
I think it was fairable.
I mean, it couldn't have went better.
I wasn't getting paid enough. I don't work for free.
Halfway through, he said, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never done adhesive before.
I guess I don't know what I'm doing, right?
I was like, why did you start it in the first place?
I'll probably stitch concrete.
I will be going with a licensed contractor in the future.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Bear versus Piles. Step forward.
Laura Bear is suing her former friend, Matthew Piles, for causing her truck to be impounded when he was caught driving with a suspended license.
Miss Bear, let me see if I understand this. This is your story. Your story, he took it for, you say, a test drive. While he had it on the test drive, the truck was stopped. He had a suspended license. The truck was impounded, and the truck has been sitting in impound where it has accumulated $8,000 worth of fines or whatever from impound. And you want him to pay you $2,200 despite the fact that, according to you, you agreed to sell him the truck for $1,000 and he was out for a test drive. Mr. Piles, on the other hand, said that he and your brother or brother-in-law?
No, it was her fiance. Was with me.
They were going out someplace and they needed to borrow your car. Who wanted to pick up a girlfriend? You?
Yeah. Well, I picked her up on the way to the store.
Look at me. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, I wanted to pick up my girlfriend. They said, sure, go and use the truck. You went, used the truck. And according to you, the steering wheel was not tight, right?
Correct.
And would it have been tighter if you had a license?
No, it wouldn't have made a difference.
No one's right.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Your license was suspended because of DUI.
Right, but my suspension should have been up.
Well, I should have been 5'8".
Judge Judy. Laura Bear says former friend Matthew Piles owes for causing her truck to be impounded. Matthew says the incident is Laura's fault, and he is countersuing for emotional distress.
It wouldn't have made any difference whether had a license or not, because the steering wheel was jumping around, and as a result of the steering wheel jumping around, the truck was swerving like this, right?
Correct.
Like you are, bobbing and weaving right now. And you got stopped.
Right.
And then they impounded her truck because you were driving with a suspended license.
Correct.
Now, your license was suspended because of DUI.
Right, but my suspension was should have been up.
Well, I should have been 5'8", but I turned out to be 5 feet tall, and that's where I stayed. So that happened on what date, Mr. Piles?
It was back in February. I don't know the exact number.
Do you need a chair to sit down, sir? Are you sure you're able to stand up?
Yeah.
Great. Do you remember the date in February?
Yes, Your Honor, the 17th of February.
Now, your fiancé, were you with him that night?
I'd been with him earlier that day, Your Honor.
Great, but you weren't with him when he was driving.
No.
So now you know that You all know each other, and you know that the truck is now in impound, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why don't you go get it?
I cannot afford it.
Well, not now. Then.
Then? I absolutely couldn't afford it then.
Well, then what prompted you to wake up this morning and say, now this would be a good time for me to go and get thousands of dollars from Mr. Piles?
Because since then, I've not had a vehicle. When he took it, he was going to buy it from me. And he agreed after it was impounded that he was going to pay for it to get out.
Don't believe that at all. However, let us say he borrowed the truck. That's what you say, you borrowed the truck. Because I don't believe her with regard to you were going to buy it. You borrowed it to go pick up your girlfriend. But you were not supposed to be behind the wheel of a truck or any other motor vehicle because you didn't have a license. And the reason her car was impounded was because you didn't have a license. So whose fault is that?
But they couldn't impound her vehicle because my suspension.
Oh, yes, they could. What do you mean they couldn't? I'm telling you they did.
No, she could have gone down there and gotten it straightened out because the car was in her name, and she could have gotten it back out of impound because they can't.
She could have. You know, she could have. As again, I say to you, I could have been 5'8".
But I gave her the $100.
When did you give her $100? February.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, she sort of acknowledges that you gave her the $100 to go and get it out of impound. As a matter of fact, she says that he gave me $100, but she says that you didn't give her the $100 till May.
No, ma'am. No, I gave it to her the next day.
You gave it to her the next day?
Right.
You sure?
Yes.
I believe you. How's that?
It works.
Is that good?
Yes, ma'am.
Go get the car out of impound. That's what you should have done. Sorry, can't help you. Now, let's deal with your ridiculous counterclaim.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Why don't you, in the few brief minutes that I have remaining in my day, explain to me why you think Miss Bear owes you $2,000?
Because it's her vehicle, and she knows the condition of her vehicle. And for her to allow me to get into the defective steering, you know, drive it with defective steering, and risk my life and everybody else's life that was in the vehicle and around me on the road, I believe that that's the reason for my countersuit, is for her knowingly allowing me to drive.
If the car had crashed and you were dead, I actually would. But since you're not and you're here, your case is dismissed.
Okay.
Great. Now, he gave you $100. You should have gotten the car out of impound. Dismissed. Goodbye. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy, the judge has no appetite for dishonesty.
You knew you were breaking the law when you were cooking and selling food out of your house. You don't have a love affair with the truth.
Judge Judy.
He hadn't given me money until May.
No, I gave her the money and told her to go get it out of impound.
So